Believe it or not, but you can actually learn a lot about conflict resolution from laundry detergent. Specifically, when you look at the dosage, the concentration, and the type of detergent used. Here's what I mean. We people, we're like fabric, and we often end up staining ourselves and others by the words we say and the things we do. Now, some stains, they're like a powder. You just brush it off and go. They're not a big deal. Some, you gotta do some spot cleaning with the water of humility. Others, you gotta drench yourself in that water. But for a lot of the stains, they require a cleaning agent. Laundry detergent. And in our analogy, those are words. Not words of dirt and mud which cause stains. I'm referring to words of apology, of mediation, of reconciliation. Because those are the words that have the power to lift stains. And when you use such words, use a proper dosage. Because if your dosage is too small, then the stain's not being completely lifted. It's like a guy who comes to apologize, but he's way too macho and has way too much of an ego, to where he just beats around the bush, talks about the weather, but doesn't really apologize. That stain is still there, even though you might have helped the situation. And on the other side of the spectrum, if your dosage is too big, then the fabric is left with the soapy residue, and it's irritating to the touch. Now, I know that sometimes we feel like we need to make sure the other person understands they are wrong, how they are wrong, we are right, and our mediation process turns into an hour lecture. By the end of it, that person isn't sorry about what they did. They're sorry they had to listen to you for an hour, and your words linger upon them like a soapy residue, and they're irritated. And sometimes the stain still remains. So you want to use a proper dosage. But what is a proper dosage? Well, it depends on the concentration. Because the more you concentrate your words with meaning, the less of a dosage you need to use. For example, if I come to you and I go, "I'm sorry, I won't do it again," I'll probably have to do a lot more explaining and a lot more talking just for you to even take me seriously. But if I approach you and have tears flowing down my face, my back is bent, my voice is cracking, I barely have the strength to look up, and I just say 2 words, "I'm sorry," that will likely be enough. And there's something magical that occurs when people engage in conflict mediation with sincerity and are genuine. And it's that the other individual will often let you know when that minimum dosage has been met. They'll say things like, "It's okay. I forgive you. It's all right." And stains are lifted. Now, to make such magical moments occur, some people like using a generic approach. Kind of like a general script they like to follow. But there are some situations in which you want to tailor your approach. Just like with fabric, there are some types of fabric where the general laundry detergent isn't the best route. Like with wool, don't use the generic kind for wool. Use wool detergent. And not all detergents work with all fabrics. Please don't use whitest whites detergent with bleach on dark colors. You can screw things up. Similarly, depending on your relationship with the person and the severity of the stain inflicted, you may want to tailor your approach to that person and the circumstance. For instance, if you have a significant other with whom you've messed up time and again. A simple "I'm sorry" likely won't cut it. You may have to show with your actions over an extended period of time that you are trying to change, that they do matter to you, that they are a priority in your life, and that you are trying to change. Bringing chocolates and roses would help, of course, but you would speak to them differently than how you would apologize to a coworker. So depending on the circumstance, you may want to try a different approach. Now, I do have to mention, there are some moments when, after a mediation process, a person may fade. They may no longer shine brightly as they once did. But it is always better for someone to be faded but clean than for them to live their entire life blemished and defiled with stains. So if you know someone that you've placed a stain upon, start the conversation. Apologize. And if someone has placed a stain upon you, start the conversation. Because they could be tormenting with guilt on the inside, afraid, not knowing how to start. But you can begin that stain lifting process. Just use a proper dosage of words. Concentrate those words with meaning. And use an approach that's fitting for the person and the situation. Because we people, we're like fabric. We stain easily.